Welcome everyone to our House Committee on Judiciary and Hawaiian Affairs. Our hearing on the 2:05 p.m. agenda, but it is currently 2:23 p.m. We're here in conference room 325 at the State Capitol, and we're also running this hearing by video conference. If you're going to testify today, please keep your testimony to 2 minutes, and I'll ask you to wrap up at that time. And if you're testifying via Zoom, please keep yourself muted and your video off while waiting to testify and after your testimony is complete. And if you have technical issues, please use the Zoom chat function to chat with the technical staff only. If you're disconnected, please rejoin as soon as you can, and I'll try to fit your testimony in at that time. If the power goes off in the building and a network failure and we need to reschedule, we'll make sure to post appropriate notice for a hearing or decision making. If you're testifying via Zoom, please avoid using any trademarked or copyrighted image, as that gives us problem with this the live stream on YouTube, and we don't want to do that. And please conduct yourself with aloha and refrain from profanity or any uncivil behavior. It's okay to disagree, but let's not be disagreeable. First up, we have Senate Bill 2715, Senate Draft 1, House Draft 1, relating to unfair labor practices. This measure makes it unlawful for an employer to discharge, discipline, or otherwise penalize or threaten any adverse employment action against an employee because the employee declines to attend or participate in an employer-sponsored meeting that communicates the opinion of the employer about political matters, or declines to receive or listen to communication from the employer that communicates the opinion of the employer about political matters. It defines employee and political matters. First up, we have testimony from, where's our first testimony from?
There's nobody to be here.
So we have testimony, we received written testimony from the Hawaii State AFL-CIO, ILWU, Local 142, Society of Human Resources Management Hawaii, and Maui Chamber of Commerce, and numerous individuals. Is there anyone who is here who wishes to testify on this measure? If not, questions, members? If not, we'll move on to the next measure. Senate Bill 2718, Senate Draft 1, House Draft 1, related to administrative procedures. This measure allows the Hawaii Labor Relations Board to admit and consider hearsay evidence. And we have received testimony from Marcus Oshiro, Chairperson of the Hawaii Labor Relations Board, who's not in attendance. I commend his testimony to members for their review. Let's move on to the next measure, Senate Bill 2819 and Senate Draft 1, House Draft 1, relating to traffic safety. This measure requires vehicles traveling 10 miles per hour or more below the posted speed limit on a 2-lane highway behind which 5 vehicles are formed in a line to pull over where possible to let the trailing vehicles proceed when passing is unsafe. First up, we have testimony from Department of Transportation in support, and we have testimony in opposition from one individual. Is there anyone here wishing to testify on Senate Bill 2819? If not, thank you very much. We'll move on to the next measure. Senate Bill 2937, Senate Draft 1, House Draft 1, relating to access to learning. This measure repeals the sunset date for the exemption of laboratory school programs of the Hawaiian Language College at the University of Hawaii at Hilo from state English medium standards, assessments, performance ratings, staff qualifications, and staff training requirements. First up, we have testimony from the Executive Office on Early Learning in support. Next, we have testimony from the Office of Hawaiian Affairs in support.
Good afternoon. I'm Maka Masuda for the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. We stand on our written testimony, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that the committee members have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And next we have testimony from the University of Hawaii on Zoom. Please proceed.
Hi. Aloha uinala ina luna maka'aina na hano. My name is Ka'u Kimura. I am standing on the University of Hawaii's testimony in support of SB 2937. I just want to add our appreciation for all of the work that the legislature has done to provide for the development of Hawaiian medium pathways that serve our Hawaiian language programs statewide. And mahalo too for your support of Act 46 that this bill is related to. Act 46 is providing further access for early learning opportunities, including those served by our Hawaiian language ohana and keiki. So this bill is seeking to ensure the alignment of Act 46 programs and mandates going forward with numerous bills, statutes, and laws that support our Hawaiian language programming. So Act 46 currently ensures that Hawaiian language medium laboratory programs of our Hawaiian Language College here at UH Hilo are afforded the right to assess program and participant progress as defined through Hawaiian medium educational tools and measures. And so this SB 2937 removes the sunsetting of that exemption in Act 46 and would call for the permanent exemption, as is also in alignment with the implementation plan for Act 46 that was requested by the Senate in 2022. So I want to thank you for hearing this bill, and I'm here to provide any answers to any questions you might have. Mahalo nui.
Mahalo, Ms. Kimura. We've received written testimony from the Center for Hawaiian Sovereignty Studies, Kekula o Navahio Kalani o Pu'u, Kupuna for the Mo'opuna, and numerous individuals. Is there anyone else wishing to testify on this measure, Senate Bill 2937, House Draft 1? If not, questions, members? Seeing none, we'll move on. Thank you, Ka'u, for zooming in. We'll move on to the next measure, Senate Bill 2132, Senate Draft 1, House Draft 1, relating to the Residential Landlord Tenant Code. This measure amends the deadline related to the repair of conditions that constitute health or safety violations, increases the amount deducted from a tenant's rent for the tenant's actual expenditures to correct health or safety violations and defective conditions. First up, we have testimony from Hawaii Realtors. Ms. Garcia.
Aloha Chair, Vice Chair, and members of the committee. My name is Lindsay Garcia from Hawaii Realtors. So we stand in support of this measure. We appreciate the amendments that were made in the previous committee and do support this version of the bill. We do ask that should this bill move forward, that an implementation date of November 1st, 2024, please be inserted, just in case there are any updates that need to be made to the standard forms that we provide for the entire industry. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next, we've received testimony from Hawaii Children Action Network Speaks and one individual. Is there anyone else wishing to testify on this measure, Senate Bill 2132, House Draft 1? If not, questions, members? Seeing none, thank you very much. We'll move on to the next measure, Senate Bill 2841, House Draft 1, relating to Water Safety Day. And this measure designates May 15th of each year as Water Safety Day. First up, we have testimony from HCAN Speaks, from Keiki Injury Prevention Coalition, Outrigger Duke Kahanamoku Foundation. Sarah Fairchild, please proceed.
Aloha. I wouldn't just stand on my testimony, but add that drowning is the leading cause of death for keiki in Hawaii, ages 1 to 15. So we really invite the legislature to help partner with this bill as just the beginning of a lot of things we need to do to improve our ecosystem for water safety. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we have testimony from Jessamy Town Horner.
Aloha, members of the committee. Thank you all for having me again here to testify on this important matter. As I've shared before in other testimony, I am a bereaved mom and partner, and like many in this arena of drowning prevention, we have sought to solve for this issue with legislative solutions. I'm also the coordinator for the Hawaii Water Safety Coalition, and this is the beginning platform of a statewide action plan that we're in the midst of working on, which is based on a federal model. So thank you for this bill and your consideration. Mahalo.
Mahalo. Thanks very much for being here, providing testimony. Is there anyone else wishing to testify on Senate Bill 2841, House Draft 1? If not, questions, members? Any questions? If not, thank you very much to the testifiers. We have quorum, so we're going to go ahead into decision-making, members. On the first bill on the agenda, Senate Bill 2715, Senate Draft 1, House Draft 1, relating to unfair labor practices, I wish to recommend that we move this out with technical amendments only. Questions or concerns, members? If not, Vice Chair for the vote.
Voting on Senate Bill 2715 SD1 HD2, Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Representative Evslin, excused. Representative Ganadin.
Aye.
Representative Holt. Aye. Representative Ichiyama. Aye. Representative Ilagan.
Aye.
Representative Kong. Aye. Representative Miyake.
Aye.
Representative Souza.
Aye.
Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you very much. Next, Senate Bill 2718, Senate Draft 1, House Draft 1, related to administrative procedures. My recommendation is to move this out as is. Questions or concerns, members? If not, Vice Chair for the vote.
Voting on SB 2718 SD1 HD1, passing as is. All members with the exception of Representative Evslin being present. Anyone with reservations or no? Recommendations adopted.
Thank you. Next measure, Senate Bill 2819, Senate Draft 1, House Draft 1, relating to traffic safety. On this measure, I'd like to move this out with amendments, primarily technical amendments, but I would also like to add language, something to the effect of that when that the vehicle who is blocking the other vehicles should pull over where possible to let the trailing vehicles proceed when passing is unsafe, and put in some language that says unless it would result in an unsafe situation. And I will leave it to our drafters to come up with the proper place to put that, but I just want to include that language in here as it was requested in the Transportation Committee's Standing Committee report. That's my recommendation. Questions or concerns, members? Representative Ganadin.
Thank you, Chair. I understand this is an issue most likely for rural communities. I think I'm concerned about the mental state of in the bill. So how do you tell if it's 4 cars behind you, 5 cars behind you? I'm not sure how it's going to be able to be proven in court. But for that reason, reservations.
Good point. Thank you. Other comments or concerns, members? If not, Vice Chair for the vote.
Voting on Senate Bill 2819 SD1 HD2, all members, including Representative Evslin being present. Anyone with reservations or noes? Seeing none, recommendations adopted.
Thank you. Next bill, Senate Bill 2937, Senate Draft 1, House Draft 1, relating to access to learning. I'd like to move this out with technical amendments only. Questions or concerns, members? If not, Vice Chair for the vote.
Voting on SB 2937 SD1 HD2, any reservations or noes? Recommendations adopted.
Thank you. Next measure, Senate Bill 2132, Senate Draft 1, House Draft 1, relating to the Residential Landlord Tenant Code. I'd like to move this out as is, but put in the Standing Committee report the request that we got from the realtors that they would like the start date to be November 1st, 2024, to allow them time to produce new forms. Questions or concerns, members? If not, Vice Chair for the vote.
Voting on SB 2132 SD1 HD1, passing as is. Any reservations or noes? Recommendations adopted.
Thank you. Final bill, Senate Bill 2841, House Draft 1, relating to Water Safety Day. I recommend we move this out as is. Questions or concerns, members? If not, Vice Chair for the vote.
Voting on SB 2841 HD1, passing as is. Any reservations or noes? Recommendations adopted.
Thank you. There being no further business before this committee, we are adjourned.